Right. Rob, your video's not on, mate. Just let you know. Oh, we've got Luke as well. Oh, no. It's 13 of us. What's that going to mean?
You don't believe in bad luck, do you?
No, I'm not dodecaphobic.
Okay.
Right. So tonight's or today's session is going to be on the rolling pattern. Now, it would be quite easy to just think that, well, we're just going to cover arm-led rolling and leg-led rolling. What else can there be to it? Well, you be somewhat mistaken with that one, because there's a huge amount to the rolling pattern. It really is one of the foundations of all of our movement. Considering, well, the limbs hang off the core, and the core is entirely dependent on the spine. The scope for mobility, movement, and options from the spine is huge, and so its influence on everything that is built upon it can't be overstated. So there's a whole load of different implementations of what we'll call the rolling pattern. To break it down into its most simple, the spine can either roll as one single unit, which we refer to as log rolling, or it can corkscrew, and either the bottom or the top can rotate either in a different direction or not, or to a lesser degree in the same direction. That's dissociated rolling. Now, in order to be able to do that, and I'm going to say, in order to be able to do that, it requires mobility in all of the joints along the spine. They all need to have a sufficient amount of range of movement. But that range of movement is also necessary for what we call authentic or functional log rolling, because unless you have range of movement at all of these joints, they never really understand where they are in time and space. And if you're wanting everyone to join together in one team and move together, they need that understanding. So first of all, we'll start off with some questions. If anyone's got any questions on the rolling pattern in particular, or just anything. There we go, we've got 14 now, away from the 13. Brooks just joined us. Or if anyone's got any questions in general. Or should we just move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if Shakespeare has taught me anything, it is silence is consent. So let's move on. So range of movement at the spine. Everyone here will have covered, I think, a good deal with us. They certainly would have covered the breathsel, which I would say is quite an advanced mobilization movement. So we're going to step one down from and do something called the rib grab. And I will try to place the screen appropriately and try to demonstrate. I'll also shut a door to see if I can take my dog out of the action. So a rib grab. Essentially what we're going to do is lie on our side and then rotate the top half of our spine. To facilitate us in doing so, first of all, we want a neutral spine, so keep the cervical spine in line with the rest. And then we also want to bring the knee up over hip height. When you do that, you lock the lumbar spine in position, lock your lower back in position. So we want that to hold firm, and then we want the top end of our spine to rotate. Now, if we're going to rotate the top end, it's all the way to the top, i.e. including the neck. So with the top hand, grab hold of the bottom ribs. Nice big breath in, fill the abdomen and the chest. Rotate out. And then breathe out. With a minimal amount of force being applied at the rib. Essentially just hold the pec, I would suggest. Don't know if Dominica or Crispin would have any tips of their own on this movement. But just to reiterate, breathe in, hold the pec and turn. Breathe in and return to the position. And then repeat on the other side. So I'd like to try and get everyone carrying that out as a group, so we don't take up too much time on some of the less technical things. But obviously, if anyone has got any questions on that, just shout out straight away.
I understand. Pick on this group. You don't think you're in this group?
That looks great, Santiago.
Gary, you're
Right,
in this group. It's combined.
Yeah, you're in this group, Gary. It's as Julie's just said, everyone's in together now. That means that everyone has got a greater opportunity of joining more sessions each week. Because if we keep it in separate groups, what happens is everyone can only ever attend 2 sessions per week, but then the overhead for the faculty side just keeps growing and growing. And you know, myself, Crispin, Dominica, Corey, and Chelsea have to support an ever-growing number of groups.
There. No,
Excellent, Santiago.
Let me fix this. Then
Do you feel you're not getting much movement there? Would you feel, Tom?
I don't feel like I'm pushing much. Should I be trying to extend?
Yeah. You see when you move that shoulder out, the whole of the T-spine rotated. So you want to pull and tug on that pec and rotate everything with the T-spine. Impressive cervical rotation there, though, Tom.
That thoracic that needs the extra work.
Well, you have to start at the cervical. So, Gary, if you try to start on your side, and with the shoulder pointing up there, that's it. Now, if you could try to bring that right knee higher than your belt line, that's it. And you can hold, that's it. You can hold it with that hand if you wish. And then that's broadly it. If you can hold that pec and turn with it, so much the better. But just performing the movement as you are now is getting some good rotation in that thoracic spine.
Let's see if you can hold this stomach.
That's great, Linda.
I think pretty good.
And you can let up on it.
Everyone can try and do that on both sides.
But then you can.
Once you've done it on both sides, see if you can then move into the bretzel.
Sorry, that feature isn't available due to.
Hey, Steve, do you mind if I make a quick comment before you head into the bretzel?
Absolutely, Dominica.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dominica. And I just want to say, I don't feel like I had a full appreciation for the rib grab and the bretzel before Brett Jones, who it's actually named after, kind of took me through it. And one of the ideas that really helped me is how important your setup position is really getting those hips and shoulders stacked to start, and to kind of visualize your spine is what you're rotating around. You know, for me, I actually prefer to have him position. It's going to be lower than the pack. It's important that whatever your mobility allows is what you do. But there are two things. One, you really want to use that exhale to, you know, gently rotate you around your spine, but you're really relaxing into it. I think Brett gave me an appreciation for how much you are not forcing this movement. And I would just bring your awareness to the fact that if that hand really wants to move a whole lot, you know, you start to see it slide across your rib cage, then that's probably going to be more you kind of moving from your shoulder blade back here, as opposed to you just want to think about that rib cage rotating around your spine. So I think a lot of times with this movement, we think more is better. And really, if the movement is smaller, but it is more of that pure rotation, starting to feel that can be really helpful.
Brilliant, that, Dominica. Thank you very much. Any questions on that after what the light that Dominica's shown on it? And that's a similar deal with the Bretzel as well. It is, well, on everything that we do, it is not to get into the mindset of more is better. The moment, and I'm sure everyone gets awareness of this, of when you realize you come up against a boundary or a block, and you think that block is short of what your target was, and then you bring extra effort to bear. Now, when you bring that extra effort to bear, you're going into a compensation pattern. You're not exercising the movement or the pattern or the skill that we're looking to gain. And so this is never this is never about effort. It's never about fitness per se. We're always just looking at quality of movement. And then the moment you start compensating, you're practicing a skill that we're not interested in trying to develop. So don't get that goal fixation. And if some's good, more's better. Always get the awareness of what you're trying to achieve. And as Dominica was informing there, of that rotation of the spine. Now, if ever we give you a movement task that you don't feel you understand the essence of it, absolutely ask. Do not follow anything blindly as a list of movement instructions. That's not what we're about. That's cognitive brain teaching, and we always want to go to the movement brain. That's a good breath till there, Timo. Are you looking over your left shoulder? Is that as far as you? Actually, you get a little bit more cervical rotation there. Are you moving on to the Bretzel there? Or, you know, still on the rib grab, Jules? That's good. You still notice that, so the cervical limitation?
You can see that?
What's that, Jules?
Is that what you're seeing?
Yes. Ideally, you would like to be able the chin should rotate over the collarbone. I would also suggest, given the sort of compromise on movement lifestyle of everyone here, few of us will get that range, but we don't want to be significantly far away from that, which otherwise will start causing a whole number of problems, not just in the rolling pattern. I mean, as ever, if it's something that you can get some intervention on, if you know a good osteopath, then that's great. But then obviously all of that costs money.
Yeah, it's probably not possible right now.
Right, well, for the first movement, I'd like to go over to Crispin. If you can demonstrate the happy baby roll, mate.
Sure.
Obviously, unless anyone's got any questions on the Bretzl. So what we're going to look to do throughout this session is to go through these rolling patterns in an order of complexity. Now, this happy baby roll is a log roll, so the spine's going to be rolling together. Again, the flexing at the hip is going to lock the lower lumbar in place. I know there's going to be a few of us here for this is going to be a first. So, Crispin, do you want to talk through those? Go on to Brooke first. You're a little bit out of the picture, Brooke. If you could move a little bit more towards your feet, that'd be great. One more scooch, that's it, bang on.
Yeah, I think just trying to hold inside your legs is helpful. Gary, I see you're trying to cross hold there. See if you can hold the right ankle or the right foot with the right hand. And yeah, and then just see if you can just roll gently from side to side. Make sure you can breathe okay when you do it. That's good. It's looking good, guys. Dominic and Steve, if you have anything to add, please do jump in.
How are you finding that, Gary? You look like you might have had it there. That's really good, mate.
Yeah.
I think above all, this can just be a lot of fun. This is like it can just be a bit, a really fun thing to do. Hopefully.
Do you find that challenging, Gary?
Happy baby. Oh, he's a happy baby, he said.
That's good to hear, mate. You can turn your head as you roll back over to the left, Chelsea. That's it. Yes, you are being watched. That's excellent, Santiago. And so if you can get comfortable breathing while you're executing this, and so that you can change your breathing patterns at the different parts, so you're not always breathing in when you roll to the left, breathing out when you roll to the right, that it is going to improve your skill and competency in the movement.
And many of you might notice as well that, of course, this is a really good squat position, except we're doing it horizontally. So it's a really good way of seeing what your basic range of movement is like to perform.
Yeah, that's good, TJ.
Even though we're doing it horizontally.
What legs are you traveling?
Now look over that right shoulder, TJ. Excellent. You're going to come over. And you can also use your legs like pistons. You can pull up on one and push on the other to help that rotation.
It's a little hard for him to hold his right foot with his right hand.
Yeah. Well, you can give him some assistance, Julie. That's not a problem.
Ready? Can you breathe?
So if you can help him maintain the position, but allow TJ to affect the roll, that would be really good. So you just give a bit of assistance on the feet. Don't forget your breathing, TJ. Breathe in and look over that right shoulder.
You can pull your foot closer to your body. Oopsie, lost your ring. Like, can you spread your feet out? Go on your back for a second. Can you keep your feet like this?
So if you just look in here,
That's
this might be helpful, Julie. Is you can, as I mentioned, you can use your legs like pistons to drive the roll as well. And it's something as you start to get greater awareness of your internal mechanics that are going on. And a lot of the time, that's all you need. You just need an observation of them. You don't need to start trying to drive them. You can see that when you move over to one side, you can push down to the side you're moving to. Pull up on the opposite side.
so, yeah. So when you go to one side.
Don't know if that's, I imagine that's not my best angle. However,
Go that way.
hopefully
Can you do that?
I can show you what's going on with the use of the feet. Did that make sense?
It does.
Yes.
Swing this leg out and swing that leg up. There you go. And breathe.
And look at that, TJ.
This leg out. And pull that leg up.
That's it.
Maybe took this arm.
So you can push that left leg. That's it. Look at that. Excellent, mate.
Oh,
That's looking good, Gary. It'd be handy if you can reach down to the feet, so you get your arms inside your knees, mate. Arms inside the knees. You'll be an even happier baby then, bud. But then also, if that's a stretch, that's it, Joni. You can help him with that. But don't drive the roll for him, Joni. Just give him some assistance at keeping the legs in that position. That's great, Gary. Excellent. Gary, that's brilliant. You're an ecstatic baby there, mate. Wow.
Well, it had me.
Right, progressing up the hierarchy of competence.
I know.
You can now look at making the movement a little more dynamic. And we can go into the pencil roll. The pencil roll is making yourself just one long axis and continual roll. Now, you can use an amount of momentum, but once you start gaining competence, I'd like to see you to be able to slow it right down, just into a controlled roll. And once again, you'll have awareness of how you're affecting that control. But first of all, just make sure you've got competence in utilizing that momentum so you feed the energy back into the movement.
And breathe. Didn't Grace say to move all, like breathe out when you're rolling? Continue to you breathing out.
Well, it can certainly help.
Thought that's what Grace said.
In a similar way to you can use momentum. What's gonna help you here is creating stiffness, functional stiffness throughout the body. Now, in the same way that getting a bit of momentum will help you, because that will just feed, you won't have to create as much new energy for each roll. What will also help you in creating that stiffness is a forced out breath. Now, what we would like to get to is where you can control your breathing in or out as you perform the movement. But to sum that up, yeah, you're right, Tink. So you can start off with a forced, get in the start position, inflate the abdomen, and then go through your roll with a nice bit of momentum on a forced out breath. And then start working on slowing it down, start working on being able to breathe as you perform the roll. Good, nice and slow and controlled. Need a bit more foot space there, Tom. Great camera angle. Yeah, Tom, just try to give yourself a little bit more space so you're happy. You're not going to lose it through the roll. And first of all, just try to get it with a little bit more pace. I know you're really going for the slow control, but let's see if you can nail it first with a little bit of pace, because you seem to be dissociating a little bit within the roll. Now that's great. Now that's excellent. So what I'd like you to try and do is note the feel. Note the feel of being able to stay stiff in as one log or one pencil.
Yeah.
And then try to, slow it down incrementally. Good stuff, mate. And replace that same feel. And TJ, what you can also do as an aid is you can start on your side, because if you start on your side, it's easier to start the roll and then get that assisting momentum. So if you can get right up against the sofa there, get on your side, and you can get in the position in whatever it takes. Make sure you've got yourself nice and long and stretched out. So you're getting the legs long, you're reaching up, big full breath, and then get your momentum and roll. So try and start on your side though, mate, rather than on your back, because it's quite the barrier to overcome. And as I say, you can get in that position any way you want, no rules there.
There you go, honey.
Get breath in before you start, mate, and then you have that forced out. Did you find you were better rolling the other way?
What did you say about your elbow?
No,
Your elbow stopped you?
And you can start either rolling forwards or rolling backwards, if you see what I mean, depending on whichever starting position you feel will give you greatest momentum. To get that full abdomen, and then as you start the movement, that's when you want to start that forced out breath and try to make that breath last as you get a couple of rolls. Excellent, mate. And being able to transition the energy from one roll into the other is a real key skill we're trying to learn here as well. And so if you haven't got that initially, don't let that get you despondent at all. It's just identifying the skills which we're looking to acquire from this movement. And whenever you find a technical aspect of a movement that you haven't got, that you should be pleased about it. Shouldn't be disappointed on it, because you've identified one of the next pieces in the jigsaw that you need to progress your movement competency. So whenever you find a block, you don't try to force your way around it. Be happy you've identified it, and then look at the ways to solve it. Well, let's go, TJ. And use that momentum now. Excellent, mate. And so just you worked on 2 consecutive rolls there. That's your baseline. Is there anyone got any questions on the pencil roll? Anything you'd like to add, Dominica, Crispin?
I think this actually applies more to Happy Baby than the pencil roll, but don't be afraid to use props as needed, in particular for your head, especially in Happy Baby. If you're finding that, the head kind of keeps tipping back, it can be a little bit confusing to the body, when you're rolling from your back to your side or even all the way towards your front. That's a global flexion pattern, meaning kind of the stuff on the front of your body is working. So if your head keeps tipping back, your head is kind of sending the message to your nervous system of we're going into extension. So while the goal is to develop the mobility that everything can be in contact with the floor, from the starting point, if you need to bring the floor to you by putting a pillow, a wedge, whatever, to help facilitate the pattern that you're going after, that actually can help unlock it a little bit.
I have a question on props for that, because this is one of the difficult movements for me. I sometimes will use foam pads next to my hips, because if I roll completely to the right or the left, I'm like a turtle on its back. I can't get back up. Is that worth sort of an intermediate to sort of I'm not going completely over?
Yeah, I think that's a great bit of awareness, and that's a fantastic adaptation that you've made to work within the range that you have right now. And the goal would just be over time to maintain some level of challenge. So if it gets to be easy that it's blocking you there, can you put something a little bit thinner, and work your way to the floor? But you've added, some great awareness on your own of how do you stay within a range where you're challenged, but you're not stuck and really having to compensate your way out of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I was just on mute there as the dog was going nuts. All righty. Now we'll go into some of the classic rolling movements that you're familiar with. And we'll start with the leg-led roll. I think the majority of people here are pretty familiar with it. So you can carry on with the leg-led rolling, and I'll focus in on a couple of individuals that maybe want to try to polish it up a little bit more. So classic leg-led rolling, as Tom is demonstrating brilliantly there, both flexion and extension pattern, and slowing it down as much as you can, and really indulging in the feel that you get back from that movement of what is having the what is driving the movement for you, and making it as expansive as possible. Now, just zooming in on you, TJ, for now. Let's have a look. Nice and slow, mate. And then push through the leg. Excellent. So the basic mechanics of that are there, mate. What you will probably notice is that you were able to reach a tipping point, and then you accelerated through the movement. So I would suggest the focus for you on trying to control it is, trying to improve your roll, is trying to control that phase when you approach and move through the tipping point. So you have control throughout the whole movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just breathe through that. Excellent. TJ, that's really good, mate. You've come on a bundle with that.
Yeah.
Hi, Luke. Just zooming in on you for this. You've still got your leg rolling pattern.
Yes.
So what happened on? Go on, carry on. That roll was really nice, and that was really nice and controlled. What happened on the first roll was, instead of raising a bent leg, you raised a pretty straight leg and then rolled yourself over with the straight leg. What's going on there is you're using a really long lever, and that's going to apply a load of force and then be difficult for you to control, which is why you shot over it. So keep that knee bent, mate. Pretty good. So, Luke, if you could just pause, and I'll talk you through the next roll you're going to do from here. So, if the first thing you could do is just bend that right leg at the hip and at the knee. So point the knee to the ceiling. That's it. And just relax in that position there. Now I want you to take it over, but keep it bent. And I want you to find the floor with the foot. Keep it bent. Keep it bent. You already, that's it. And now I want you to reach out towards 4 and 5 o'clock on the clock face. Don't push down. That's it. Much more controlled. That's great, mate. And then coming back, you seem fine. Find the floor first. Find the floor. I think, yeah. How does that feel to you, Luke? Is there any spots where you feel you haven't got the control you want, or whether you're having to force it? Sorry, mate, say again.
Yeah, the control I want.
Sorry, mate, I'm not sure if it's
Yes, I have the control I want.
yeah, that's good. the basic pattern is there, but just make sure you pay it attention and sort of respect, if you will, to controlling the movement. Although it's one of the most simple patterns, you know, you need to know there's still lots of room for skill and controlled execution. But you got there with that anyway, mate. That's pretty good.
Yes, thank you.
Gary, do you want to show me your leg rolls? Nice and controlled. That's excellent, Gary. That is a million miles moved on from where you were. You feel happy and controlled with that?
Yes, it does.
Excellent. Brooke, can we have a look at your extension roll in particular? So, well, let's have a look at both of them. That was excellent. And that was excellent. That's great. And remember that one of the challenges or one of your deficits was the ability to flex the knee when you were in the supine position. That's improving quite a lot, isn't it? Oh, sorry, are you on mute? No? Yeah, we can't hear you. Can't hear you, I'm afraid, Bruce.
Oh. Let me see here.
Oh, we can now.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yes, my flexion's getting a lot better.
Yeah. One of the big ones, which I think was relevant to yourself, which I'm not sure if we'll get time to do it today, is the shoe balance. And I think because it seemed to me that the skill was definitely there, but it would potentially switch on, switch off if you didn't have focus control on it. And so one of the best ways to approach that is where the task informs what you need to be doing rather than you thinking about what you need to be doing. And so with the shoe balance, and I think I saw this in one of your last executions of it, it was magic. Because you're keeping your eyes on it all of the time, you're not thinking necessarily about flexing the knee. You're just thinking about holding the shoe there or the towel. And I think that will work excellently to keep addressing that deficit, because it's clear you've got a hell of a lot of movement skill otherwise, which is that's just magic news in trying to rehabilitate. We want to use as much of that as possible.
Thank you.
Is anyone else have any questions on the leg roll? I can see you practicing it with a plum there, Timo.
Not bad.
Right. I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce a little bit of a flow. Let me get on. It's one that I know I introduced to the newer group. Whether it was introduced to the other one or not, I know not. We start first of all from the 90-90 position. So one of the things we look to do when we're focusing on the rolling pattern is also preparation for the next step, which is the crawling pattern. And you'll see where that will come in on this flow. So you start in your 90-90 position, which should be a position of rest and repose. So essentially the structure that you're in should be holding you there. You shouldn't be trying to adopt a certain tension in your position to hold it there. You should just stack yourself up, and with leaning down on the arm, everything should be at rest. Then from this position, turn around for a better angle, but just know that this arm is obviously on the floor. What I want you to do 90-90, so there's your box here as well. Keep the feet in position. The hand comes down. And then you turn around 90-90 in the other direction. Again, with the arm down and in a relaxed, supported position. There's a bit of rotation at the hips. You can add some further rotation in the spine by breathing in, reaching through and threading the needle behind the hand that's down for support. Breathe out, and you should sink through a little further. Breathe in and return to the position. Hand comes down. Now notice here, you're in a crab position. And you come through. Reach through. Breathe out. Breathe back in. And then you come here. Now, for those who've got the competence in it, you can come up into a crab. For those who can't, you can have leave the hips engaged with the floor. And then your next movement, this is going quite complex. So those in the group who can, great, go all the way through. Those who can't, you can either just stop with the 90-90, or you can progress to this position with the hips down. Next movement, leg through, straighten the leg, come round. Legs back through, then you finish in that position again. You can do it to the other side.
And under switch?
A form of more threading the needle, more so. Threading the needle,
Okay.
which very similar. So what I'll do is I'll go through the whole lot now with without talking through. So start with 90-90. Now repeat it again, but using the hips in the supported position. 90-90 and reach through. And from here, take the leg through. Hand comes over. If you need to put the hand down to enable the rotation, that's fine. If you can lift the hips and reach through, then so much the better. Now that's a lot to take on, and only go as far as you can with competence. So what I'll do is I'll start with you, Tom. So you breathe in when you're reaching through, then breathe out, and you'll get a little bit of an extra reach. Not bad, but Tom, hold that position there. What I want you to do is bring that foot behind and then affect the under switch by reaching with the leg. So reach out, that's it. Yeah, that's great, mate. And I think the progression with you is trying to get more grace with just having the one hand on the floor. Just getting familiarity with the movement's going to give you that. And if you can pop your homework in the forum, that'll be grand.
Right.
Gary, how do you feel with any of that? Can you do the switch from the 1990? That's it. Try and sit tall. Get that chest high. That's it, mate. That's better. Now, can you thread the needle and reach through with that right hand behind? Excellent. Turn the head. That's great, mate. Integrate your breathing. And one foot behind the other. That's it. Now lift that right hand up and over. And then you reach through with that leg. And that's great, mate. You've got the basis for that to progress that movement through. Are there any gaps on that you want me to, you got any questions about? Or do you feel you got a handle on it? Yeah. Excellent. I look forward to that, mate. Let's see. TJ? Okay, TJ, just want you to pause for a while in the 1990 position. And that's all I want you to do with this exercise now, mate, is just get that 1990 position. So if you bring that tip, get a nice high and broad chest. So maybe bring that hand in a little more. Try and sit as tall as you can. That's it, as tall as you can. What we want is tall and comfortable. So if you feel you're having to create tension to get that position, just see where you get the feel that you need to adjust and just get comfortable in there. Right, now take a big breath in and put that left hand down behind you. And you can keep your feet in the same position and lift both knees towards the ceiling. Put the flats of the feet on the floor, that's it. Excellent. Pause there, mate, pause. Pause and breathe. Pause and breathe, mate. Get tall. Inflate that chest, that's it. Now, just have a think of where you'd like your feet to be able to rotate into the 1990 position facing the other way. And if you need to...
Maybe go towards you a little bit.
That's excellent, mate. And now rotate round, that right hand comes up and get tall. And breathe. TJ, that's awesome, mate. If you can just focus on that, and so you can start to progress fluently between those two positions, that will be excellent. And that'll be a great position for you to just start spending some time in and getting comfortable and able to breathe. Crispin or Dominica, I know I've just been gobbing off belt fed here. If anyone wants to.
I was just going to say, TJ, that is really good. What you've done there is really, really good. Really nicely controlled. And the difference when you brought your chest up, it's really nice. Really good to see.
Thanks.
And it's a position that's going to feed into well, it's going to start opening a lot more doors, which is exactly what we want. And if you just pop that right hand the other side of the leg, you'll see how that will allow the chest to expand and get a little bit higher. You can puff your chest out, like as if you're on parade. That's it, mate. Next up.
Dominica, sorry, Steve. Dominica, were you going to add any other comments there at all, or?
I think, just to articulate what Steve kind of walked through there process-wise, you guys have a phrase that you seem to use that I've heard in some of the recordings, just pause, breathe, figure it out, which I absolutely love. I think a lot of times when we hit a sticking point, our inclination is we want to speed it up, we want to get right through it. And, the phrase speed hides need is a great one to keep in mind. But I love your mantra of pause, breathe, figure it out. It accomplishes a lot.
Chelsea's blowing me cover there. That was stolen word for word from Eric DeGatti.
Yeah, it was definitely Eric.
Thanks, Tink.
That's what I'm here for.
I'll say. Timur, let's see that, mate. Remember your breathing. Leave those hips on the floor, mate.
Yeah, I think we're going to.
Yep. Foot behind foot. Take the foot into position before you relocate your shoulders.
Like
put your hand back down, mate. Put that right hand back down. It behind you. Yeah, so almost back into the crab. Right, and now put the foot back in. So you can move that foot while you're stable, get into another stable position, and then you can move that right hand into a stable position. If you just bring that over now, you'll find that it's all easier. And that's the secret to quality movement, is making it easy, not learning to do difficult things. You can transfer your weight. Remember to breathe. Excellent. Timo, that's awesome. Great control. Timo, that's excellent, mate.
Thank you. Yeah. That took some work.
It did. Let's go the other way without me giving you any tips.
So you're saying put this foot down first?
Yeah, and get it behind. Hand comes over. Timo, awesome, mate. Now breathe, focus on control. Magic.
All right.
That was superb, mate. Absolutely superb.
No, thank you, Steve.
Jules, let's have a look at you, mate. Remember to use your breathing when you're threading the needle. And that's a good movement, Jules. But as I was saying with Timor, go for the foot through first. I mean, it's a completely valid option to do the underswitch as we've done before, as you did. But just as a variation in this movement, if you could take that foot through first, and then it gives you the option to extend the leg rather than just go straight into a quadruped position, but to extend it to drive the rotation, if you will. If that makes sense. So you see how you drive the rotation there with your shoulders. If you leave it behind and drive it with the leg, I'll do a quick example now. I say it's just a different implementation, but it's a different tool to have in the box. So you go from here, then foot's through, and then drives it like that. Taking it from here. By all means, lift the hand up, but the shoulders don't rotate until that. Because the other option is you can come over like that, and then that just comes through. Which again, it's a functional movement, but we're just looking at trying to develop a different option here.
Right.
Linda. Oh, I've just moved you off the screen. Where have you gone? Where have you gone, Linda?
I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah.
That looks a great position there.
By the way, I wasn't lazy with a pencil rope, but my brain can handle with something.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Stretch that leg. That's it. That's it. Excellent. Now just reverse it. Bring it. Yeah. That's great, Linda.
Now comes the tricky side.
Feel free to reset the position if you like.
Yeah.
Drive it with the leg. Excellent, Linda. Santiago, I've seen you practicing, so you should be nailing this. If I can find you, you know. Just maybe in that 90-90 position, mate. And, we never want to make, be too picky with this. You see how your shoulder is outside your hand? Yeah. You want to be, see that now there, your arm's supporting you. Whereas, Look, I'll see if I can. And everyone's going to be slightly different, but and it might not be something which is a flaw for yourself. You might. I've seen people who can sit in a 90-90 straight up without having to force themselves into the position. I'm having to work here to sit like this. If I just lean on the hand, now the structure just holds the position. Now, where I was naming them before is you were like this. Now that puts a bit of stress on the shoulder and on the hand when it's being that completely relaxed position, but structurally sound. You know, this is the way we're designed to sit. So that's what I was after. Never like to, get too obsessed with tweaking joints here and here to get a perfect position, but see if does that talk to you at all, that position?
I don't think so, yeah.
That sounds convincing. Yes, excellent, mate. Really good. Great. Hey, now you obviously would have got a bit more control if your foot was engaged on the floor, but fair play for being able to do it without. Chelsea, where have you gone now?
I'm right here. Yes, listen, people. All right. Why?
So get there on a full in breath, hold the position, have an out breath, and you should get a little bit of extra range. So it's on the in breath now, then the out breath, and then an in breath to come back. Excellent, Tank. No need for a second arm at all.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry about that. It's just a more complex implementation. Yeah. So Tank, move the leg back. So on this one, so move that right foot behind the left. So thread the needle before the shoulders come round.
Okay.
And so if that means keeping the hand on the floor, keep the hand on the floor. Excellent.
Better.
That's great.
Booyah.
That's just Luke and Brooke for this one. Luke?
Yes, I can do that of which part since I've never done it before.
That's fine, mate. Just go through the switch in direction in a 90-90 position. That's good, Luke. You want to see if you can try to sit a little bit higher in the position and make it a sort of controlled rotation. And so if I pop it onto myself again. You want to be sitting high, and then so your backside is the point of rotation. Almost you can consider that the center of the clock face. You're reaching through, staying tall. So keep that arm straight. And come back through, stay tall. And stay controlled. And last, but by no means least, frog. And remember to use your breathing at this end. So you breathe a full breath in, you reach, hold the position, breathe out, and you should feel yourself get a little bit of extra range. And then breathe in again when you come out. That's it. Very good.
Sure.
That's it. Reach through to get the rotation. That's it. Excellent. It's unlucky. That's the skill we're looking to develop. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
Can you go the other way?
Oh, I thought it was devolving in. Which way did I go? No, this way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's harder.
Push through, push. That's it. And so do you see you see what you did when you came out of it? You used the other leg to come over as opposed to driving the rotation by pulling it through. And you'll generally find you'll have a favored side. And it's just getting awareness is always the key and where everything starts with. And so you get awareness of the sort of vulnerability you felt in that position. And then when you turn to your stronger side to get the end state. Now, always what we're after with these movements is the technical execution as opposed to getting the end state. The end state's nice, but it's about the journey rather than the destination.
Yeah.
You know. So that brings us to the end. Have I missed anyone? We've got a load on board today.
I think you missed Rob.
Rob,
Rob, yeah. Sorry, mate. Where are you? Is he still here? Yeah. Sorry, mate.
I was doing this yesterday with Beth.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
you should be able to show us a really good example then.
Oh, I'll try.
So turn the head, mate. That's it. Ooh, Rob, put the hand back down, mate. Put the hand back down and go through with the foot first. Otherwise, it will make it quite unstable. That's it. And now come around, push out with the foot. That's it. Excellent. Great control, mate. Great control. Now to the other side. Remember the foot before the arm comes round. Excellent. Now stretch out with that foot. Yes. Rob, that is awesome. That used to be a big hole in your movement, mate.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outstanding, mate. Anyway, that's us come to the end of that one. So, any questions, anyone? And whether you have or whether you haven't, does Dominica or Crispin want to come in with anything?
Just to say it's been very good. I love the new setup.
Excellent. Cheers, Rob.
Yeah.
Any more for any more?
It was just great to see everyone, working in this bigger group together. It's really, really good to see. Really good.
And as it progresses, and then we also get more hosts taking the sessions, we can put more sessions during the week, and then it's just going to go from strength to strength. And once we have that library of reference material for when anyone's working on a particular pattern, they can just go to that library. We're gonna have quite a powerful setup.
Awesome.
Okie doke. I will see you all on Wednesday. Dominica, if you've got 5 minutes, if you could stay on with me and Crispin at the end, we'll have a quick wash up.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone. See you on
All right,
Wednesday.
cheers, all.
Bye, everyone.
Well done. Well
Great
done.
movement, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Cheers, Jules. Cheers, team up.
Thank you.
Hey, all right, guys. Hi, Dominica. I didn't mention you too much in the recent posts because I didn't want to, put any expectations on your timetable. I didn't know if you were going to be able to join. So, you weren't omitted for any reason other than that. But and certainly as soon as you feel you want to take one of the sessions yourself, if you want to do that Wednesday, it's an open invite to you.
I appreciate that, and I really don't feel I need any mention other than the group being comfortable with having me around and being okay with the comment here and there. I was on a call with Frey on Thursday, and I'm getting pulled in a lot of directions on this side of the ocean. So I want to be as helpful as I can to you and Crispin, but I also want to be able to follow through on anything that I promised you guys. So
yeah. Well, zero assumptions will be made over here, and you're welcome to join any and every session. But then all you have to do before one of them is just let me know, and the session's yours to take. I worked well, I thought, Crispin.
Very well. Yeah, very well. Yeah. And it was amazing, actually, the diversity of patterns and moves that we could work on in just one section. That was.
Well, I also think, though, I think Roland's probably the most difficult of them to find variations, but there is so much. And I thought you did great as well. It was
really, really good. Yeah.
There's some in session progress, and certainly a lot of evidence of recent progress in the guys. And I think the aspect of us meeting them where they are is going to accelerate the improvement. Which it's scary in some sense, because every last one of them have been told by their therapist they can't improve anymore, and have essentially been put into managed decline. So everything we're doing is breaking new ground. Well, it was a delight to have you there.
Yeah, really glad you could join, Dominica. Really, really, really nice to hear. Yeah, some of your input and
it was great input as well.
Really, really, really nice. Yeah. Guys, I think
I was just saying my privilege to join you guys, and I continue to go through some of the old videos and the assessment folders and everything. I'm trying to get to know everybody a little bit. But I'm really glad to be able to join you guys for this session, switching to the new format. And I'm excited to see where you take it because it just seems like they'll really benefit from having that extra focus on a pattern at a time.
All righty then, guys.
Steve,
Well,
just before we finish, Monica, could you give us like a little sense of because of course it sounds like you've got lots of other stuff